back to my channel. So today I'm going to go through all of the eyeshadow palettes that I went through in December. Okay, so I actually have a good mix of palettes, like options in terms of new versus old. I think anyway. I don't remember every single look that I created. I will say this is the first time that I've tried this one. I've just received this today in the mail, the Galactic Visitor from Singe Beauty. It just arrived today, finally, and this is what I have on my eyes. But I'm going to be ranking this in January, obviously, because this is the only second day where I'm actually wearing any makeup this month, and I'm trying a new palette. So yeah, I thought, why not? I actually filmed a little short. I don't know when I'm going to be posting that, but I do have a little short recreating this look, or not recreating, creating the look. What am I talking about? Who knows anymore? Who knows? Anyway, so bottom of the list, I haven't counted how many palettes I have here, but I did go through quite a lot of palettes in December. Bottom of the list is the Midnight palette from Beauty Bay. I have already spoken about the fact that I just feel like this is just way too big for me and my collection and my preference, and like I don't go into like deep dark purples all the time. I did end up getting rid of a lot of the light purples because they looked like they were going bad. And honestly, Beauty Bay just does not last for me. So as soon as something starts turning, I'm like, I don't want that in my collection anymore. So I think I might start being even more ruthless as the months go by. And we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, this one, I think I ended up doing a little bit of a bluey purple look. What else can you do with this palette? It's fine. It's just not a preference of mine. Okay, another palette I didn't really enjoy this month was the Blueberry Muffin from BH. I kind of mentioned this when I was going through all of my eyeshadow palette collection video, but I really just have lost love for this palette. I just don't know. It seems to be more of a companion palette, if anything, at this rate. I go into it and I'm a little bit confused as to what to do, and it hasn't really brought me that much joy. I did go into it hoping that it would spark some joy, and it really didn't. I went into my NARS Rising Star. No, this is the Stargaze. Rising Star is the cheek palette. I'm confused. This is the Stargaze palette. And I went into this in November, but I also went into it again in December because I wanted to go into more of the purples, which I did, and it was fine. I still feel what I feel of this palette, that I just think it's a little lackluster, a little too dark, but you know, it is what it is. It's still okay. It's fine. It's just not my preference. I'm like speeding through this. I should slow down a little bit. But the next one is here. So this is from Glamshop. I'm kind of ranking this one here because I don't think I was completely blown away when I did my Glamshop look. A few of you liked the look that I did, and that's great. And I think the formula in this palette is absolutely beautiful. But I think I'm just not into my greens, and I'm waiting for the moment that I'm going to get back into my greens, because boy, do I have a lot of palettes that have green in them. And I bought this palette. It's a very green palette, and I'm just not into my greens. So as soon as I am, I think I'll love it. But I kind of need to rank it here because of the overall feeling that I got with the palette. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. It's just a feeling. I'm going by feelings. I actually don't think you can get this anymore. At the time you could, but now I think it's discontinued. Okay, and then I did pick up the Molten Metals in December, and I tried it, so obviously I'm ranking it here. This one I feel like is a nice palette. I think if you are used to all of the other Gloss palettes with their really multi-chrome like special shades, this is a little disappointing, I will say. I have to like just be honest and real. I was very, very excited about this palette before it was released. In my mind, I was thinking of, you know, kind of these tones. I actually really was thinking of these tones. I mean, what else could you do with Molten Metals? So I was already thinking it was going to be really rich, with a lot of silver and copper and like the depth there. So I think overall they did a really good job, and I think the formula of the mattes is really good. But I just wish that these shades down here, not that they're not special, they're just not special enough for me compared to all of their other palettes. And I think I'm just being a little bit picky because I have almost all of their other palettes now, so I feel like I can justify me being picky and a little bit of a spoiled brat with it. But I'm just like, where are my multi-chromes? Like, that's the only thing where I'm thinking in this palette. But It's absolutely stunning if you're not really into multi-creams. And also, honestly, I mean, a lot of their shades crease and, you know, you have to kind of use primers and stuff. I have oily lids, so it's not like the best thing in the world, but I still pick them up, you know, so whatever. Okay, next up we've got the GS palette from What's Up Beauty. This is one of the palettes, some of these palettes I had pulled for my winter palettes because I wanted to use them over the winter. And I think this is one of the ones that I had pulled, and I did go into this. I don't really recall what it was, but I definitely went into Earth-like, and I think some of these pinks and purples, maybe this Terra Brown as well. It's a nice formula. I do like this palette. It's still not overall like a favorite palette of mine. I don't know what could make it a favorite palette of mine, to be honest, because it is a really pretty palette. The formula is great, but you know, I just don't rank it at the top. I don't know what it is. Okay, I also went into my Jackie Aina from ABH, so this is an oldie, obviously, and I specifically wanted to go into the pinks and purples because I never go into the pinks and purples, and I did go into the pinks and purples. Not for Christmas, but I did go into them, and I thought that it was a pretty look. And the formula is great. Like all of my ABH palettes, the formula in this one has degraded the least. I feel like it's the same formula as when I first bought it years and years ago. I don't know what they did with this palette, but it just is not the same as like the Norvina one that I have, which I really love, but I can kind of tell it's getting down there. And the Nouveau palette as well, which is more of their upgraded formula. Yeah, I think that one is the quality is worse in that one than this one. The quality in this one, I don't know what they put in it, but whatever chemical they put in there so it does not degrade is amazing. They should do that with everything. Okay, then I have a newer palette to me. It's not a new palette, but this is the Gal on the Moon from Gloss Gods. They did restock them, so it is back in stock. I think this one is still back in stock unless it's sold out again. I don't know. I know the Gal on Mars is still in stock, which I will talk about. Oh no, I won't talk about it because I tried that in January. Oops. But yeah, I tried this one in December and I bought it in December. It is a really beautiful palette. It is more of a companion palette for me. I don't really mind. It's an all shimmer palette. It's what I would expect. I have a lot of all shimmer palettes from Gloss Gods and I just felt like I needed to complete my collection. Now I've got all of the ones in the galaxy. So I've got the Gal on Jupiter, Gal on Mars, Gal on Venus, and Gal on the moon. So yeah, I think the formula is really, really beautiful. I actually have nothing bad to say about it. I haven't gone into every single shade, so maybe that's why I'm not ranking it higher than I am right now. But there's just so many different things that you can do, and I have barely scratched the surface on this one. But it was a lot of fun using it. Okay, then I have my Serenity from Cosmic Brushes. I just really like this palette. I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know. Is it my favorite? I have three. It could be my favorite. I keep flipping between this one and the Sweet Delights. I just think those two are they're just so much fun. There's a lot of variety. You like when you kind of look at this, you're like, oh my God, that's really dark. That's really green. That's kind of grungy. What am I doing? Why is there this pop of bright orange? And then there's a chartreuse and there's a purple right next to it. It's a Halloween. And then there's obviously a sky blue right here. It is kind of all over the place, but I love it. And actually, it gives me so much inspiration. When I go into this palette, I just feel inspired and I kind of know what I want to do. Sometimes I look at palettes that are a little bit more boring or simplistic or should make a little bit more sense, and I look at it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with that palette. This one, I know what I'm doing. I think the formula in this is absolutely amazing. There are no dud shades in here as well, as opposed to the Sweet Delights where I feel like there are a couple of dud shades. I feel like all the shimmers are beautiful in here, and I had fun with it this month, so I wanted to rank it here, which is, as I can see now, I've whittled it down. This is 5th place. So we are in 5th place with the Serenity palette from, I say Cosmic Brushes, they're Cosmic Beauty. In my mind, they're still Cosmic Brushes, but I will try to remember. Okay, then we have another Glamshop. This is this one. I always say it wrong, so I'm not going to try. But I really like this. It's just a kind of a standard, boring, everyday palette, but it has obviously these special shades in here where you can make it a little bit more interesting. You've got a few satins, so you can definitely tone it down for your workwear. And I went into it, I was really into obviously some nudes over December time, and yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I I think I will always rank this one pretty high because I just think the quality is really good. I've always enjoyed the color story. It's just always been one where I've just really enjoyed it. Okay, another Gloss Gods, and this one has actually been also restocked, so I think you can buy this again. And I went into it this month. It was one of my winter palettes, so I wanted to go into it anyway. I think the last few have all been in my winter palettes, but I just made a pull. I just like made that list and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pull from that pile. It just makes it easier for me. And I wasn't really working on too many projects in December, so yeah, I had some more fun. But yeah, I went into, I honestly don't remember the look that I went into. I think that's such a shame. I definitely went into this shade, so it must have been some sort of purple look. But I don't record every look that I do. So I'm trying to do better this year. I'm gonna do some more shorts just to try to record and hopefully try to post on Instagram a little bit more. But you can definitely get your hands on it. I think it's so romantic. I think the quality in this one is outstanding as well. So as long as they haven't changed it, because obviously I don't have the new one, I would highly recommend getting it since it's back in stock and it's really, really good. Okay, I went into the Shadow Kiss from Alter Ego. This one did a neutral look. What can I tell you about it? Not really, not much, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's a really fun palette for me. And that palette contender, which I've yet to film that. And honestly, I still have yet to decide what I really ultimately want to do. So I think we'll decide on the day that I start filming, which I don't know when that will be. I think it's supposed to come out next week, my palette intro. So we will all find out together what I'm going to do this year. But I went into it in December. I couldn't wait any longer. I was like, I want to go into this. I don't care. And yeah, I love this palette. Okay, and then my favorite palette that I used in December was the Gal on Jupiter. I think this is like my new favorite palette. So every time I use this palette, I just fall more in love with it. And maybe it's just because I'm into cooler tones at the moment. So when I'm past that, will it be the same? Maybe not. But this again, obviously is from Gloss Gods. And I just think this is such a stunning palette for this year or any other time of the year, really. And it's really versatile. It really is. I mean, yes, you kind of just can only do your neutrals and your browns and whatnot, but you got these beautiful silvers. You also have this shade down here, which actually is more purpley pink. So I do feel like there is variety in here, that it's not just a palette with browns and taupes and silver, because that's kind of what it is. But you do have like some gunmetal, and I don't know, I just really, really enjoy it. And I think I was debating on getting the Urban Decay Naked palette again, because obviously I had that palette and I had to let it go because it went bad, because obviously I had an old one and then they released the new one. But to be fair, I honestly feel like this gives me everything that that palette could give me, but more because it's just more special. So yeah, I just didn't feel like I really ever needed to go back in time and pick up that palette, because they said limited edition, but you can still buy it. So I think they made like tons and tons, and maybe they, you know, I think they waited too long. They should have released it like 3 years ago, and I think people would have gone wild. But I don't know. It's still a palette where I'm thinking, should I get it again? But then I think I've got this one. I've got so many other neutral palettes that have beautiful shades in them, and I realized that that is kind of what I'm after. And I think if I got the Urban Decay one again, not that I didn't love it, I did love it, and I spent a lot of time using it, and it was a gift at the time, and it was special to me. But I think I'm just past that right now. I think I'm more into these special shades. So that's it. That is my video for today. Those are all the palettes I used in December. It feels like a really long time ago this summer, and it was like, it was a while ago. Yeah, I'm posting this pretty late. But we'll see how I get on with January. Only got into 2 palettes so far this January, like I said. But I am excited to see how the rest of the month / year obviously progresses. And thank you all so much for watching, sticking around, and I will see you all next time. Bye!